Hey, yo, check me out real quick. Here's 4 packs of cigarettes, 2 cans of dip, and some chew. Stick that shit up your ass and bring it back to the compound. What's up, everybody? I'm Blessed and Free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV. So real quick, man, I just want to give a shout out to everyone who has subscribed to the channel, man. I really appreciate everybody that's been rocking with me since day one. If you're new, I appreciate you too, man. None of this would be possible if y'all aren't watching these videos. So, man, salute to all y'all out there. I got a lot of people following me, and I really appreciate it, man. So in this episode, I just want to put it out there real quick. This is going to be a graphic episode. We're going to talk about some shit that goes on in prison that a lot of people don't know about, or they hear about and then they want to ignore. It's like they don't even want to pretend like they heard it. I'm in a couple groups on social media, and I post some of my videos on those groups. And, you know, there was this one particular lady that I posted a couple of my videos on, and it was basically just telling people, you know, what goes on in prison. And she made it into this whole thing, got my video removed, saying that she doesn't want to hear about booty bandits and, you know, why are we talking about that? So the reason why I talk about all this is because all this shit needs to change. That's why I talk about it. People should not be getting raped in prison. You should not be having, you know, 10 dudes at a compound going around chasing butthole all day long. So the more we talk about it, the more that shit gets exposed, and hopefully somebody will hear and see that, and they'll put an end to this shit, because that's how diseases get passed around. That's how people get fucked up in the head, because they get raped in prison, and then when they leave, you know, that shit stays with them, and that fucks with their head. They get PTSD and all that shit. But I just had to get that off my chest real quick. But this episode is going to be about what goes on in the Florida Department of Corrections work camps. Usually they have a main unit and an annex at most camps. And then they also have a work camp. A work camp is for people with lower custody. So if you have medium or max custody, you're not going to a work camp. But if you have minimum custody, you are going to a work camp. And what goes on in work camps is you go to the work camp, and when you get there, you get put in a dorm. They assign you a job outside the gate, and every morning you wake up, you report to the rear gate, and you get with your crew, and you go out and you weed whack. You go in retention ponds and cut lily pads down and all that crazy shit. You wear waders to go in the water. You know, I was at work camp in Orlando, and I remember I was on this like hill, and you had to fucking hold a rope to walk down this hill because it was so steep, and at the bottom was a retention pond, and we had a weed whacker with a blade on it, and we were cutting all the shit down for the county, and there was water moccasins down there and shit. And I came up the rope, and I told the officer, listen, man, I'm not going down there with no water moccasins. Like, I'm a Florida boy, but I ain't rocking with no water moccasins. That's for damn sure. And he literally said to my face, if you refuse to work, I'm going to give you a DR and you're going to go to the box. And then they take your gain time. It's a fucked up situation. So they put you in positions to where they don't give you a choice. You just got to do it, unless you're ready to sit in confinement your whole bit and not get any gain time. But when I ended up at Gulf, after I got in the fight with the booty bandit, I go to confinement. I get out of the box. You know, every day they post a call-out sheet, whether it's for medical, if you're getting assigned a job, if you're going to Modality, which is a drug program that's in the Florida Department of Corrections, and it's a money thing. They make a lot of people go to it, even if you don't have a drug problem, because they get paid for each inmate that goes to that class. So when I got out of the box, I automatically thought, man, now I'm going to have to do Modality. And I think it was like a 3-month program or some shit like that. So I was looking at the call-out sheet every day. And so one day I go to the call-out sheet and it says work camp. So I was like, damn, they're going to send me to the work camp. And, you know, in prison, you always hear about work camps because usually they're sweet, man. There's people going outside the gate, so they're picking up shit, drops, and they're bringing shit back into the compound. Cigarettes, weed, Tucci, pills, pretty much whatever you can get your people to drop off, someone will get that shit through the gate. And then you also hear people talk about work camps like they're soft. And, you know, that's true for some of them, but some of them are, you know, shit gets live there too. And at golf, the shit was getting live there. People were getting stabbed. People were getting ran down on. So a couple days later, they tell me to pack my shit and I'm going over to the work camp. So I was like, all right, bet. So I pack my stuff. We go outside. We go to the rear gate. The sergeant was working. He's like, man, didn't you just get out of confinement? I'm like, yeah. He's like, how the hell did you just get out of confinement? Now you're already going to the work camp. I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to the work camp. We get to the work camp and it's a little different vibe than what goes on at a main unit and an annex, but for the most part it's the same shit, but it's a little more laxed. But we did have a couple officers there that worked the annex and the main that would come over and work the work camp, probably for like overtime. So you still had those officers that were on the fuck shit. The next morning I report to the rear gate for work, except they don't have my gate pass. I never got a gate pass the whole time I was at the golf forestry camp. So every day everybody's going to work, I'm stuck in the dorm. And I was in there with a dude by the name of Tony, man. Shout out to Tony, he's a real one. We did a lot of time together, man. And he's going to be coming on this channel. I'm going to interview him. So everything I'm going to tell you in today's episode is verified. And he'll verify all that shit. So we became tight, man. And when I got moved in there, I got moved into a side of the dorm where it had a couple people that were bringing in shit from going outside the gate. Like, I didn't know the shit that goes on in prison. Like, you always hear stories like, oh, suitcase it, or it's in his prison wallet, or shit like that. Even in Cali, they talk about like hooping it or whatever. So, but in Florida, we don't hoop it. I get put in this corner, and there's a couple kids that were in this corner, you know, younger white boys, and they were definitely bringing some shit in their suitcase. I didn't realize the shit that went on in work camps. Like, I didn't know dudes were literally packing their ass full of shit to come in through the gate to bring back in. And normally they're doing it for a gang. There it was the Latin Kings, the GDs. There wasn't really many Bloods, and there was a lot of white boys at that camp. So he would go to work every day. Dude was on his work squad. He would have his people drop off the bomb. And everybody knows about this. This is no secret on how it all goes down. Even the officers know about it. And they'll do sweeps like every month just to get everything out of the compound that people had brought back in. And that's a rough time in a camp when they do a sweep and they find everything, because then you got bitches looking sick. Because you take cigarettes away from somebody in prison, like that shit, it's like a dark cloud forms over the compound. Everybody's all depressed, and you know, you don't have anything to relieve your stress. So this kid's on the outside work squad, and one of the dudes that had the drop was, you know, giving him the shit, and he was sticking it up his ass and bringing it back to the dorm. He would shit it out, wash it off. He would get broke off whatever he got for doing that, and then we would all just chill. And I would buy packs of cigarettes on the wire, because on the wire, you get them for cheaper. You can flip that and make money and then smoke for free if that's what you want to do. So this kid comes back from working outside the gate. He comes in the dorm, and he would wait till after count to, you know, shit the shit out. And he goes, he does his thing, wash it off. He comes back to his bunk, and his bunk is like 2 bunks away from me. So we're all standing over there just chilling. And this dude literally had 3 packs of cigarettes and 2 cans of dip in his ass that was on the bed now because he had washed it all off. And I know some people are watching, they're like, man, there's no way someone could stick that much shit up their ass. But listen, there is definitely a way, and that shit happened. And they're not taking like a regular pack of cigarettes and boofing it that way. They're taking the 3 packs of cigarettes, they're taking all the cigarettes out, they're pressing the cigarettes in, and then they're taking cellophane or saran wrap, and they wrap each pack into a little bomb. And it's like a little plug, bro, and that's what they do. The kid was using it like a little butt plug, bink, right up his ass. And he got 3 packs in, and then they take the dip, they take it out of the can, they wrap that too. So boom, 2 more cans of dip after the 3 packs of cigarettes. And you can tell too, because when this dude would come back from working outside the gate, he would walk into the dorm like a stick figure, because he couldn't even like move right. He was probably like destroying his insides, but he didn't care, because bitches will do something strange for some change. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But so there was another dude in the dorm named Rice. I think that was his last name. And he was like one of those dudes, like when you're in a dorm, you'll be chilling with all your homeboys like in a corner smoking, and he'll just come strolling over And he never really like says anything. He just kind of stands there and laughs every couple seconds when we're all talking. He was a straight bug. And if you don't know what that is, that's what Rice was. And we would be like, bro, what are you doing? Like, get the fuck from around here. Burn off, bro. Kick rocks. And he would just stand there and look at you like you were joking. And we're like, bitch, we're not joking. Like, get the fuck from around here. So he was always trying to get cigarettes because he didn't get money. He was trying to like get a hustle and shit. So he started working outside grounds. They had a drop at the outside grounds because people would come to visit and boom, they do their thing. And then the people at outside grounds would bring it in. So he gets put out there and he's like, oh man, I'm going to have all these cigarettes now and I'm going to be bringing it in and da 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 da. He thinks it's cool, I guess, to stick shit up his ass and bring it in, but that shit ain't cool. So he goes, he works out there. He starts bringing shit in. And this dude fit 5 packs of cigarettes in his ass to bring back through the gate. Like, bro, it's just crazy. That shit's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway or something. Because they do it like it's nothing. Like, they're like veteran ass stuffers or some shit. Man, it's just crazy. So at that camp, man, when everyone would leave to go outside the gate, me and Tony would be back because I didn't have a gate pass and he was a houseman. So in the mornings when he's done cleaning around 9 or 10, they kick everybody that's in the dorm outside of the dorm and you literally would just chill on the yard all day until shift change. So we're out on the yard, man. We'd be sleeping, doing dips, playing basketball and shit. And the officer that worked our dorm was late for their shift. So the dorm next to us is where all of us went in because we were trying to get in like from being out in the sun all day. And everybody starts coming in that's working outside the gate. And here comes Rice. And now we're in a different dorm. So there's a bunch of people in there. Like, we know them, but we don't we're not vibing with them as much as we are with people that are in our dorm. So he comes in the dorm and there's these 2 like pretty big black guys. I used to work out with them sometimes on the yard. We were cool. We'd smoke and shit together. And like, I could tell they were watching him as he was headed towards the toilet to shit this shit out. So I'm like, man, what y'all gonna do? And they're like, man, just chill. Like, all joking with me and shit. So I'm like, all right, this shit's about to go down. So he goes over to the toilet. He's on the toilet, shitting the fucking 5 packs of cigarettes out. And the black dude just comes up, boom, mollywops him right in the face. He's like, clean that shit off, cracker. That shit's ours. And Rice looking sick, boy. He's like looking up. He's like, man, they're going to take my cigarettes. And you could tell he like wanted to cry. So he got all the shit out of the toilet, washed it off, and gave it to him. And then he comes walking over to like me and like 5 other dudes because we were smoking and shit. So he's like, man, let me hit that. I'm like, bro, get the fuck from around here. You just let 2 dudes fucking smack you in your shit, and then you gave up your whole bomb, and now you want to come over and ask us to smoke cigarettes. Nah, bro, it don't work like that. Dude acted like his dog just died. Like, he was in a state of like denial and depression, and like he almost looked like he was ready to kill himself because he couldn't get a cigarette. But shit's crazy, man. I got a bunch more stories that went on at that camp. There was a couple officers, a woman officers. I had one wake me up one day, rubbing my back, telling me it was count time. We had this other officer, Miss Nobles, who, anyways, I'm going to get into that in another episode. That's a long story right there, but I'm going to start dropping more of my personal stories and shit that I've went through and shit that I saw when I was in prison. I know y'all want to hear it, so that's what I'm going to give you, man. I'm here for y'all, man, dropping these episodes and letting y'all hear the business, bro. But hey, if you haven't, man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. And also, I just got t-shirts in. I'm mailing them out. They're $30 a t-shirt. If y'all want one, you can DM me on Instagram, DOCTV813. Don't forget to turn on them post notifications on all, so every time I drop an episode, you can hear it first. And with that, it's DOCTV, and I'm out.